Hey, FCS Vanguard. This is David. I've been asked to do a how-to Twitter chat video, so we're going to do it today. Right after I was asked, I actually took the SimChat Twitter chat for this week, so it's going to be off of the SimChat Twitter chat instead of the FCS Vanguard, so do be aware of that. Now, a couple things to notice to get started. First off, what I'm going to be using to chat is called TweetDeck. And TweetDeck can be found at web.tweetdeck.com. And you can find TweetDeck, and it's a real easy way to participate and run a Twitter chat. And basically what makes this so easy is that you can add columns, and I can search for the hashtag here. So for instance, I can sit here and search for the FCS Vanguard hashtag. And it'll come up, and I can actually add that column to my TweetDeck and save that. I already have that saved, so I'm not going to do it right now, but I can actually do that. So that's what I'm going to use to chat. And if you'll notice on my TweetDeck, I have lots and lots and lots and lots of Twitter chats that I participate in at one time or another. The other thing I want to point out is that you can find those at cyberryman.com/chats. In the official Twitter education chat schedule, it will take you to a schedule for all the chats across the country. So if you want to participate in those chats, you're more than welcome to. Pretty much all of them want as many people as possible, and it doesn't matter where they come from. Now, so a couple things on the setup of TweetDeck that I want to get set up. First off, I want to move my notifications over next to my SimChat saved one. And so I can sit here and just move the arrows, and I can rearrange with the columns. So I'm going to move mine over right next to SimChat. There we go. And the other thing to note, as we start this, the other thing to note is that I'm running this chat tonight. And so you're going to see both it from the side of running a Twitter chat and the side of participating in one. And so one of the things that you want to do if you're running one is you want to go and map out, you want to pick a topic, and then you want to map out questions that go with that topic, because a Twitter chat is basically a question and answer format. And so on the TweetDeck, the first thing that you're going to want to do if you're running the Twitter chat is you're going to want to tweet, and you're going to want to just get people to introduce themselves. And so now, another thing to note as you're looking at this, one of the things that you have to do if you participate in the Vanguard chat or run the Vanguard chat is in every tweet you post, you need to have the hashtag in there. So the hashtag for Vanguard is FCS Vanguard, and a hashtag is a little pound sign in front of that phrase. So as I tweet that, you'll notice it shows up in the hashtag format. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. And I put in the hashtag. And so really, if you're running the Twitter chat, the next thing to do is just wait a few seconds. You don't necessarily have to ask questions and keep it moving like super fast. And so I'm going to wait a minute to see if it's just me, and if you can see Maria and Cynthia have already logged in have kind of introduced themselves to the Twitter chat. But I'm going to wait a second to see if we get anybody else. Now with SimChat, sometimes SimChat is an interesting one, and I'll go ahead and say this with this, is that a lot of times it takes a while to get people onto SimChat, because it is at 6 o'clock on the East Coast. And so a lot of people are eating dinner. I don't know why Simbaloo decides to do that. I think it's because it's right after school. They're a West Coast company and it's right after school on the West Coast. But because it is 6 o'clock on the East Coast, SimChat takes a little bit usually to get started. Usually starting right at 6, there's not very many people on the chat. But we do have a few. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is basically I'm going to ask the first question. And I'm going to tease it a little bit. And make sure you include the hashtag. Now, as we're waiting here for a second too, the other thing that I want to mention is that a lot of times I'll have my phone right next to me too as I'm running a Twitter chat, because depending on where I am in my house and the internet service I'm getting, TweetDeck does drag at times. And so it is a little slow at times to respond to the tweets that are coming in. So it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind as you participate in chats. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask the first question. And so I'm just going to tag it question 1. And this is all about bleeding edge technology tonight. And so I'm going to tag it question 1. And the first question is, how would you define bleeding edge technology? And make sure I add the hashtag. And this is I'm running the chat, so I'm asking the questions. Now, as I ask this question, you'll see some of these other folks will start to respond. And so as a person running the chat, your job is to kind of keep the conversation going. So you can respond to what they say, you can go and answer the question yourself. Or you can kind of move on to your next question. And so the whole idea is to keep the conversation and keep it moving. We'll give it a few minutes to see if somebody else will respond, and then I'll respond with my answer. So if you're participating in one, pretty much all you have to do is answer the questions, and then you can go and add and respond to other people's answers. And just make sure that you tag it every time with the hashtag, which the hashtag for the one we're doing tonight is SimChat. Still waiting. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes to see if I get just a few extra minutes to see if I get some other answers here. And you can see the thing about TweetDeck, the nice thing about TweetDeck is I can actually monitor chats and participate in chats that are at the same time. And so, for instance, SimChat's really the only thing that I participate in that's at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. But when I moved to 7 o'clock, and so we'll explain this as we're waiting, I kind of participate in all of these a lot of times. I participate in Digital Citizen, Dojo Chat, and EdTech Bridge at the same time because I can see what's going on at the same kind of time. And the other thing about it is you don't necessarily have to respond to everything. And you don't have to participate in the whole chat. You can participate just for a few minutes. Well, I guess I'll respond to my own question. And so if you're participating, this is what you do. Answer one, and then you respond. And see, you did. I did get a response from Sylvia, who's another PD Pro, Assembly PD Pro. But and it, like, something to notice from Sylvia's response is that she's saying she responds with what she thinks it is, but it's okay if she doesn't know for sure, and that's totally okay if you don't know for sure what you're talking about to respond. I don't know, because the whole idea here is to learn and to learn new things. And of course, I'm going to tag it with the hashtag. Now, it is Twitter, so I'm -3 over my character limit. So I'm going to go and cut out something that doesn't really have to be there to get the point. Which to me, I can cut that right out. Then I can tweet it. And you see my tweet shows up in the tweet deck. And so really that's all you have to do a Twitter chat is the suggestions I have for you. One, use TweetDeck. Go to TweetDeck and use TweetDeck to do the chat and save FCS Vanguard as a row in the chat. And if FCS Vanguard's your only thing for right now in your notifications, that's totally okay. Two, just answer the questions. If you can't, if you don't want to, if that's all you do, you're still participating. So all you really have to do to answer the questions is go and figure out what the question is, which is usually tag question one, put A1, and then put what you think your answer is and the hashtag. That's really all you have to do. And so I'm going to close this out because you're going to, instead of you sitting through like an hour-long video, but this is pretty much how to do a Twitter chat. I might close this out. This is not recording. I'm going to be really pissed at this. Oh my gosh, it's not recording, is it? No. Yes, it is recording. Is it? I can't. I can't stop the recording.